And I'm one of the very few that was never Team Lively from day one. There were some stragglers. I think you were a straggler.
Yeah, I had questions even from the beginning, simply because there were the biggest red flag to me personally, and I had questions on was like, why was the smear campaign more important than the sexual harassment that she was
Perfect.
accusing him of? That's the thing that didn't sit well with me. But at that time, I laughed at my old videos where I was like, I think that she can win on the sexual harassment. I just don't think she can win on the smear campaign.
I know what you're thinking. Is this entire video gonna be ASMR? Or am I back from break? No, I'm not. I'm still very much on health leave. In fact, I am whispering because I've just figured out when you have laryngitis and you can barely talk, when you whisper, it sounds much better than trying to actually talk. So, without further ado, let's get into the video. Meet me on the other side. F around and find out. Hello there, beautiful people, and welcome back to another episode of F Around and Find Out. I'm your host, Elsie. And before we get started, I just want to say thank you all so much for the well wishes. I promise I'm not coming back. I'm only taking 2 minutes to whisper. I'm not back at all. But I'm very, very overwhelmed with how many of you are wishing me to get better and telling me to take my time to come back. But this video was just stuck in my draft, so I figured I might as well do an intro to show you guys that it's an old video. I didn't want you guys to think it's a new video and the information is like pertinent. It's just something we were talking about. I figured I might as well show you. So thank you for the well wishes. I appreciate all of you. I thank all of you. Okay, that's it. I'm gonna go before my husband finds out I'm sneaking in here and recording. Okay, shh, don't tell him. Before we do that, I want to thank everybody for donating to our GoFundMe. Good news, construction has begun on the bridge. I just don't have pictures and videos today. I'm supposed to get it around 5 a.m., 6 a.m. today. So I'll be able to show you in the next video, I promise, or I'll just make it a post. But thank you all for donating to our GoFundMe. It means a lot. I also have more news to share with you about what we are doing with some of that money as well. But I can't keep doing this, so I'm going to have to explain to you in the next video. So thank you so much. I really appreciate you. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, leave a comment, hype, all that stuff. I'm going to go back to lay on the couch, wrap my neck in a blanket, and continue drinking my tea. So run, watch this video, and let's chat in the comments. Pesos, I love you guys. Bye.
I had questions even from the beginning, simply because there were the biggest red flag to me personally, and I had questions on was like, why was the smear campaign more important than the sexual harassment that she was accusing him of? That's the thing that didn't sit well with me. But at that time, I laughed at my old videos where I was like, I think that she can win on the sexual harassment. I just don't think she can win on the smear campaign. That's what I said. I said because she did everything right. She documented and she went to HR and she did all these things, right? That's the impression she gave us, right? But also, like I say, the biggest lie that's still around is that they signed that 30-point no more document. Right. It is the biggest thing that convinced many of us, including myself, the first time I read it, because she stuck it at page 2 and then she stuck it as exhibit A and B for the one that actually got signed. So most people have the span, like the attention span to get to page 2. You know what I mean? So yes, I was a straggler in the sense of like, it took me, I think I felt more solid after Justin Baldoni came out and sued the New York Wayfarer parties, sued the New York Times. Yeah. That when I saw the rest of the text messages within the context they were actually in, I was like, Blake Lively choosing to omit those text messages made me side eye her.
Yeah, same. And again, like I said, I wasn't a creator then, but I remember I never wavered. I saw that and I was like, no, that's Rafael Solano. You're not gonna talk about him like that. That's Jay.
Hey, that's Jay. Don't be Blake Lively now, not being able to tell the difference between the actor and the character.
Like, that's Jay Villanueva's baby daddy. Don't talk about him like that. But honestly, it's so weird to feel, and honestly, now that I think about it, to feel such a connection to a person you don't know, and to feel like you know him, to turn on a camera to defend him the way. I mean, if I was already a content creator, it's one thing, but I wasn't. I literally turned on my camera to be like, y'all not gonna talk about this man like this. And I've never met the man from Adam. Don't know him from a can of paint. I mean, I was gonna say I could see him walking down the street and I wouldn't know a thing. I would know a thing. I would know a thing, honey. No, but like to me, my husband is a little similar to Justin in a way that like he's too good for like his own good. Like if we were broke and we had $1 and somebody asked for $1, he would give it away and then look at me like, "What are we gonna eat?" Like what? He gave our $1 away. Like he is. Like even in our company, I think I've made this joke multiple times. When people call to come to like our shop or something like that, they ask if I'm there, and if I'm there, they're not coming. They're like, "Oh, is your wife there today?" Or if I pick up the phone, they're like, "Are you gonna be there today?" When I say no, that's when you know they're gonna go. Because my husband is nicer. He's like, he's smoother. Like me, I'm fighting. Like I'm ready to go. So it never sat right with me the way she tried to like overtake his movie, first of all, but also even in the conversations, he never seemed like he had power. There was no point I felt like there was a power dynamic here that didn't favor her. And I'm talking about text messages that came in February, but still, I saw her. I didn't even bother to read the complaint the day it came. I just literally saw that TMZ post and I said, absolutely the fuck not. And then a couple days later, I read it and then I was like, then I started watching people's content on it. And then I was frustrated with the way people were covering him. Talk, oh, he's a nobody knows him. And I was like, no, we know him. We know him. We know him to be this. We know him to be this person. We know him to be a person who spends his birthday with the unhoused. He creates whole like this is who we know him to be. I'm talking about I know him like I know that man. I don't. But and that's how I started. But I always ask this though, where were you when or what do you think? I'm gonna ask the where were you later, but what do you think happens if Justin doesn't come back with the speed that he did? Because I always say, had he waited for Christmas to pass, had he waited for the New Year's to pass, and Brian Freeman was in the thick of it with the fires at that time too, what do you think happens if he waits 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks before he countersues or he sues the New York Times? What do you think happens?
Yeah, I mean, well, technically, so they drop the New York Times hit piece on the 21st. They wait right. 10 days. I think part of the delay of the 10 days, and there were people whispering, oh, they said they were going to sue, and look, they haven't sued yet. I said, well, one, there's holidays in there, right? But it was the perfect timing to drop it on the 31st.
Yeah.
People had time.
Yeah.
And boy, did we have time.
We did.
And we read that, we lapped that thing up. And so I think that if he did not, we would not be here today. I think she mistook his kindness for weakness.
Yeah.
My take has always been this. Not always, obviously. It wasn't always. But this is where I am now. I had strongly believed that she did the CRD via Van Zandt. Now we know, but the CRD for a cover your butt situation for the New York Times, and so that the New York Times could do their little hit piece on Justin Baldoni and then freak Wayfarer out so that they could come and say, hey, we would like the sequel.
Yeah.
And we will make this all go away. And this is and the reason I believe this, right? I don't believe she ever planned to sue. Two things. One, she didn't put It Ends With Us movie LLC as one of the people that they were suing. So don't want to soil the name, right? Yeah. Especially if you're trying to get the sequel.
Oh, yeah.
And then secondary, the second point is that Jed Wallace, Street Relations, and RWA Communications, which was RWA Communications is Jen Abel's company. All three of them don't get sued when it's time to actually sue. Yeah. And I'm like, how are you dropping the person that you say is the one that actually orchestrated? He may not have been the puppeteer or whatever, but he was supposed to be the fixer or the person who's actually handling all the logistical pieces of making it happen. You're not suing him. So it's how can you say through the New York Times you have all of this overwhelming like evidence, and when it came time to sue, you took one of the biggest people out of it.
Yep.
And then when you finally brought him in, he gets dismissed twice.
Yep.
So you don't got much.
Yep. Marry me. Marry me, Bocce. Marry me, please. Let's meet in New York in March at the courthouse. We'll do it there. I mean, are you kidding me? Like, you're my soulmate in this case. Because, I mean, honestly, the moment she didn't add Jed Wallace, I mean, everybody was kind of looking at her like the head honcho of he's creating a website. He's not part of it. Like, the man who you claim saw your New York lady, what was it? Blue Jean Baby, New York lady. He saw your post and he knew you were in New York, and he's not part of the lawsuit? Really?
Mm-hmm.
And that's how you know she really had nothing, because that was really part of her evidence. Who posts her Instagram caption and says, look, I posted that I was in my New York apartment. So Jed Wallace must have seen that during his research. I'm sorry, what? And I blame her lawyers too, because I feel like there's only so much you can blame her for, because like I said, she can't read. So
I don't know why you have that.
She cannot read. Why wouldn't she read the book? And why wouldn't she just read scripts and say the words rather than trying to rewrite them all the time? Her husband has to read them at home to her. That's why they can't work at the same time. Do you know how much work it would be for him to be? Girl, that lady can read. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Somebody give her something in person and let her read it, and let's see. And I'm not talking about a teleprompter where they can like jibber jabber for her. We don't know. I want to write down words.
I was about to say she has read from a teleprompter.
I don't believe it. Has it been live?
Yeah.
I want to take a pen.
Remember that one like award
with the
she
kids?
did a really great speech.
What she's talking about the kids?
Yeah, her kids, her husband, how he comes home to them.
AI.
As opposed to who? Who else is he going to come home to?
He runs and comes home to us.
He comes home to us. He should. Like, bare minimum. That's a bare minimum. Oh, what a wonderful husband. He comes home. Like, yes, and why are we trying to applaud this man for coming home?
He with Hugh Jackman, but he's Where were you when the timeline of relevant events finally dropped? Or like, what did you think the moment you saw it? Because I remember I woke up on a Saturday and I was like, wait, what?
Well, I mean, that dropped the same day, right? As the lawsuit, I feel like, didn't it?
The timeline of relevant events?
Oh no, I'm so sorry.
No,
you're right. That came with Blake Lively's in January.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The website?
The lawsuit against Blake Lively and company.
The website.
Oh, the lawsuit.
Info.com. Info website, yeah. That didn't drop until February, I'm pretty sure.
I did not. Was it?
Mm-hmm. I think.
Are you sure? Mm-hmm. I thought it came out at the same time as.
No, wait, actually, you're right. He kept telling us he's going to do the website, and we kept waiting and waiting. And then it came, and I believe February 2nd. Yeah.
Okay.
February 2nd. I remember waking up and seeing that, and I thought I was looking. I would say I wasn't disappointed, but I wanted more. I thought there would be more. I thought there would be more than just screenshots, but I did love the summaries. I love the fact that they gave us summaries of what we were seeing and like on each page. But I thought I was about to get links and videos and pictures. I was cool with it, but I thought there would be more.
I think there's a few reasons why I think that's probably the case. One, I think that if it was just Brian Friedman making that decision, he probably would have.
He would have gone crazy.
I think that Wayfarer has a strong, like the entity, as well as Steve and Jamie and Justin, they all have a strong faith. And I think that's what made them refrain from that. And also because I think it allowed that thing to stay. If they went too much out of the bounds of what,
the judge must shut that down.
Yeah, because the judge says, you know what, Blake Lively wanted it stricken from the record, but the judge said, look, I'm going to disregard it. It's not going to determine my dismissal response, but it's also
has the right.
Yeah. And also because it overlapped enough with the actual lawsuit that it wasn't in opposition of it. But he also did say, hey, if you wanted me to consider some of these things, you should have put it in the actual complaint.
Yeah.
Because what people have to remember too, right? People got so upset with the judge saying it was just hard negotiation or hard negotiating thing. And they're like, why? People got really upset with that. But you have to look at what the actual complaint said. There was never any accusation that she may have manufactured harassment allegations against Justin Baldoni so that she could, take over the film or claim all this or that. They never made that. You heard Brian Friedman say that outside of things. And when you read the timeline, if you're a person who's like logical, like, you know, you see the
Yeah.
pattern, you get there.
Yeah.
But they don't outright say that in the lawsuit itself. All the lawsuit says is like, she didn't, she got a PJM mark that she didn't deserve.
Yeah.
They signed a 17-point side agreement that they didn't agree with, but they had to do it because she wouldn't negotiate. Like, all of those things were within her purview, especially since she didn't sign her law. I mean, her contract.
The contract. Yeah.
So
So it makes sense. Yeah, I agree. I think if they had gone crazy, which I mean, Brian wanted everything out there, but I think the judge would have. I agree with you. I never thought that I not that I never thought. I had thought about it before, but in that moment, I wanted so much more. And I mean, it was 160 some pages of beautifulness, but I was like, dang, can we get more? Kind of feel like it was so good. It read like a book. I sat down and didn't get up. I sat in front of my iPad and I had my little stylus. I was writing notes on the iPad as I went. And I remember making videos as I went. And I was like, I'm gonna make 100 videos because I was so excited on every page. I was like, oh God, I'm gonna make 100 videos about this. I need to stop. So no, I think, and I always appreciate them for that because I go back to that thing so much now. Whenever people are misinformed about things or people say things inaccurately, or I love going back. I call it the Bible.
I will say this too. This is another thing that sticks out to me and why I don't believe Blake Lively and her allegations.
Wait, you
One
don't
of the
believe
things that,
Blake Lively and her allegations?
yeah, it's because of the when she sent over the 17 when her lawyer sent over the 17-point side agreement, there was an email that said, you know, it was well documented. Okay, but we don't see any of this well documented situation, right? But what we do see is it was well documented on Wayfair's side.
Yeah.
And why I say that that speaks volumes to me about how much I believe her allegations. Typically, what I've found whenever you're in an HR situation, the ones that document are the ones being harassed.
Oh,
The
yeah.
ones that document are the ones that feel the need for protection.
Oh, yeah.
And the fact that she when one of the things that stood out to me so much with Blake Lively's lawsuit that was so vastly different than Justin Baldoni's Wayfarer's lawsuit itself is that the lack of dates.
Oh, yeah.
And when you refuse to provide dates, it's because you don't want to be fact checked. The No More document saying it's contemporaneous and yet failing to provide dates. And also, when we have the timeline, we know that those things that she's accusing them of is out of order, couldn't be done contemporaneously. It was meant to grab the emotional like pull for people so that they can feel a type of way. It almost overrides your logical brain because you're just so horrified for her. But the reality is, if she was truly documenting for HR purposes, you have to put the date, who it involved, what you did, what happened, all of those things.
You know, down to, and I think maybe me and you have had this conversation or you said it on live on your video, but even they're so sparing with the way they have moments now where they will provide a date, but it's so inconsistent that it makes me wonder what okay, so the one thing, maybe they might have like 10 complaints and then one of them they may have a date, so they're like, oh yeah, on this day they harp on that. They're like 11 other things, no date. Why? I'm sorry, why don't you remember? And like, to your point, every time, not just this case or just Wayfair side of things, but historically, you will know or you learn anytime there is somebody who has a complaint to be made, whether it's sexual, domestic, whatever, whether the person is documenting by taking pictures of themselves, whether they're trying to remember when they went to the ER, I mean, that's going to be documented anyway, or they contacted a friend, which I always harp on that. There is no text change he's going to show us that says she was talking to her friend, her mother, her anybody, right, about what was going on. It makes so much sense to think about it that way too. Wayfair and Justin have always been on the defense. They've always been on the side of no power. The power dynamics were not confused. And I hate when people try to make it seem like he was the director. This is not a typical director-actor situation. This was a director and an owner of the movie and an actor in the movie who seemed to have so much less power than the lead. And people don't seem to want to do the math on that. But I 100% agree with you. The fact that she had no dates doesn't do it for me. It just doesn't do it for me.
Yeah. One of the biggest things I had said at that time was, why did Blake Lively provide the date she wanted to do an HR complaint, but never provided us the date of when she actually did?
Did it?
That was the biggest thing that I was just like, this is very confusing. Also, as you said, it was very sparingly and it was very it was interesting which date she chose to
She chose to
provide
film.
versus, and one of the things that, I think one of the biggest reasons I think she decided not to provide us with dates is because she wanted to give this appearance that it was a pervasive, severe,
Yeah.
ongoing situation. Because if she provided dates, it would show it was very early on in production, and it was things that Justin acknowledged
Yeah.
to and said, hey, like, think adjustments will be made, right? But
Yeah.
also that the bulk of these accusations happened within 2 days, May 22nd and May 23rd.
Yeah.
And so I don't think she wanted to show that all of these points all happened in pretty much 2
In the
days
same
out of the
period.
16 days that she filmed. Because then that people would then say you couldn't deal with 2 days, you can handle it a different way,
Which is so crazy when you think about the fact that she really was only on set for 16 days, just 2 weeks and some change. And even then, we have footage of she literally hops out of a car, goes on set, does her scene, hops back in said car, and it's gone. So really, when were you on set? When were you actually on set to like just hang out and find out about cast and crew genitalia?
Yeah. I mean, that is so. I mean, it's so wild. When I think about the whole thing, it's wild to me. It's wild to me that she was free to make all these accusations. And the thing that I said was the saving grace for Justin Baldoni is that 99.9% of her accusations had witnesses.
Oh yes.
Because it's either in front of like cameras. And the one thing that made me laugh about the dance montage one, she said, he did this while the cameras were running or something. I was like, you mean because he was filming as a director? Like, you're wanting to make it sound devious that he was literally, it's a cut of the movie. He's doing a take of the movie. I mean, he's doing a take. What?
But the best part about that is she had the wherewithal to know the cameras were running, but forgot that the mic was on for Justin. Because again, if the mic wasn't on for that video alone now does so much for her. The way she described that moment, if you don't have sound, you take her at her word. And that man was in the scene acting his butt off.
Yeah.
So if there is no sound of everything he's saying and you do the math and we are done with this case. I always say that if there was no sound, this case was done in January. We're done. Like, we would have been done with this. But the fact that she had no idea that mic was on. Oh.
Also, the way the lawyers wrote the statement when he came over to talk about the trailer. I mean, he went to the trailer to talk about her outfits, and then she's like, "I don't think this is a bad outfit to wear when when her character's fictional husband."
It's like, rather than what?
You literally just said character.
Why would you do this?
The character is fictional. Of course, the husband's going to be fictional.
Yeah.
And honestly, it's statements like that, even though I know it's the lawyers writing it, not Blake Lively, but they're also picking up from whatever their client is giving them. And a part of me is like, did Ryan say you must write fictional husbands so they don't ever think that it's me that's doing that? And it's like, it seems like a Ryan Reynolds thing to do, to be like, make sure you write fictional.
But then again, we know she also cannot separate herself from the character. He probably, I mean, didn't she say something about he comes home in Deadpool costumes and just...
That's true.
He doesn't know how to separate from the character, neither does she. So maybe they're home role-playing Lily and... What's Deadpool's name? Is it just Deadpool? I've never seen that.
I never watched it.
So maybe
Maybe? Something Wade? I don't know.
I think it's Wade.
Yeah, something Wade, maybe. I don't remember.
Maybe they're home cosplaying as Lily and Wade. I don't know. The kids probably don't know the difference. I think she said that also, that her kids don't realize that their dad is... whatever she said. I can't keep track.
I don't know. Oh, speaking of, like, that's another thing. Remember when she claimed that her 4 children, including little baby Olin or whatever, right, were all traumatized by this whole thing, right? Yeah. And then I was like, but Ryan Reynolds literally did an interview or something for Deadpool and Wolverine and made a weird joke, but it's still a joke that was helpful in this whole context. He said, I hope this is the most trauma my kids will experience, this Deadpool and Wolverine movie.
Yeah.
He said that in July
when he was on the stage. I remember
Yeah.
that when they did that viewing. Yeah.
Yeah, so tail end of July, he's saying this. And Blake Lively says that her kids are traumatized. So it's like, okay, so if at that time in end of July, they were not yet traumatized, that the only thing that was traumatizing to them was Deadpool and Wolverine. You're saying that the thing that traumatized your children was not the alleged sexual harassment. Is this alleged smear campaign?
Yep.
And this is why I'm like, and the fact that you said to Megan Twohey, according to Megan Twohey, right, that you've experienced worse sexual harassment, but what really was like, you were never planning to bring it out to the public, even though you were content creators were getting DMs saying, please do not talk about this because she's going to come out as a victim on August 8th, beginning to seed it publicly, right? I was never planning to come out with it until this smear campaign, which was so.
We can't confirm nor deny, but hey, here we are.
Again. I'm telling you, she needs to learn how to tell the truth, because if she can't tell the truth,
that's a lot.
She's gonna not remember all the lies. I mean, it's hard to keep up.
She needs to learn how to read first. That way, when they write things for her to say, she can remember them. Reading is always going to be fundamental, and I think that's where her problem is. If she could read, she could get away with a lot of things.
She can read.
Not. Maybe at like grade level, but
there is proof that reading levels right now are around, like, we usually try to write things to make things accessible to folks, vocabulary wise. We do try to keep it in the 5th, 6th grade level usually. Actually, that might be too high. It might be 4th and 5th.
And you were an educator, you would know.
I will say this too. In the book Bonanza, she made it sound like she read. I mean, she read the book through an audio, like the audiobook, which because she mentioned how, like, her best friend's name was pronounced differently than how it was pronounced in the movie.
Oh, I never caught that.
Yeah, she said that in book Bonanza.
That's hilarious.
So that, to me, that was her trying to hint that she's at least listened to the audiobook.
Or she had one of the nannies read it to her.
No, she said it was the audiobook.
Oh, she said audiobook?
Yeah, it was the audiobook.
She probably has the nannies of the house. One hand on diaper, one hand on It Ends With Us. Flipping through the pages like, oh. I don't know. But I love doing this with you. We're going to have to do it again. Honestly, whenever you want to hop on here and yippee yapper, I've been asking for it. I've been asking for her to show me something that actually, like, say today you text your husband and you're like, hey, today, I don't know, Justin looked at me weird. I want to see one of those text messages. They don't exist, honey. I'm sorry. We're 11 months in. If they existed, we would have seen them by now.
I will say there was a text message that she provides in her amended lawsuit with when she's talking to the mutual friend of Baldoni and Heath. Please. But again, even in that text message, I'm like, she's misrepresenting things.
Wait, was it dated?
It was. She was claiming it was that day, where I think is the dance montage day, if I could recall properly. But the thing is, she still misrepresents it. She talks about him. I don't want your gaze, Gaze. I don't want your, and yet we watched the film. Like, it's because she thinks it's weird to look at. Yeah. But she can't. That's why I'm saying Blake Lively may find it uncomfortable, but does Lily, who's like lost in her own world with Ryle.
Yeah. Down to the whole, lingering at the neck area, which is literally in the book. And documented that he's obsessed with that tattoo in the neck area, down to the fact that even in the movie, they actually get in a fight. I know you haven't seen the movie yet.
I have seen the movie.
You have seen it?
I've just never read the book. I've read sections of the book.
Okay. Because down in the movie, there is literally a part where he gets mad when he finally figures out that tattoo. And he kept asking her and she kept, putting it off or whatever. But thank you so much for coming. This was fun. This was so much fun. And if they don't cut us off, we're going to keep going because we can still find things to talk about in this case, even when we're done. I may need to do a part 1 and part 2 just so people can actually watch both. All right. Well, thank you guys for joining us. We appreciate you for hanging out. Please remember to like, share, subscribe, leave a comment, and we'll try to get back to you. I'll make sure Bocce sees the comments you guys leave for her as well. So be kind, be nice, because Bocce does not do crazy. She does not do crazy. I'll be putting up with crazy sometimes. She won't do it. But either way, thank you guys for being here so much. I'll see you on the next one. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Bye.